Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, I came across a couple stories this morning. Well, actually, one story. And then there was an incident that happened yesterday. And these are things I want to talk about, like cancel culture. And there's a certain group of people, like the mega conservative mindset, that we've gotten to prissy, that we're offended too easily, that people should be able to say joke, like comedians should be able to say whatever they want to say, and we should be able to take a joke. It's all we become too big of crybabies. And I came across a news story about Rob Schneider. That's the first one, and the link will be down below. And Rob Schneider did a very painful set recently. Like I said, the link will be down below, and he made jokes about COVID vaccinations and the trans community. And the thing I want to talk about is the COVID, and because he supposedly is an anti-vaxxer. And after I read that article, I went back, and it reminds me of Audrey. Audrey was an anti-vaxxer. She was a conservative, MAGA Republican, and she was my girlfriend, my soulmate, the woman that I was going to marry. And I went back and read her text. She passed away on August 5th, 2021 from COVID. And I just went back this morning and read her text, the last text she ever sent me. Matter of fact, maybe I'll use it on the thumbnail. I read her sister's texts after she passed away. And there's nothing funny about this. She passed away because she had this mindset. She believed people like Rob Schneider. She believed the MAGA mindset that we're Americans and we can make our own choices, and it ended up killing her. It literally ended up killing her. If you watch my channel, I've talked about this before. The other one, this is the other one I want to talk about. I saw a MORK and MINDY episode yesterday. I'll have the link right down below. I'll have the whole episode right down below. It's called MORK's Health Hints. It's from the second season, 1979. And like I said, I think it's like I don't know which episode it is, but I'll have the actual episode. I'll put it right on top. And Mindy apparently goes into the hospital for a tonsillectomy. And they in this episode, they paint the hospital as like a place of mistakes and death and accidents. And Mindy they end up thinking her name is McDonald instead of McConnell, and she's scheduled for brain surgery instead of a tonsillectomy. And here's the part that really bothered me a lot. And she was in another ward, and like I said, if you watch this video, and there's a lady there that supposedly had brain surgery, and it's supposed to be all funny. This lady that had brain surgery, and she's talking with her mouth all like this, and she's like, it depends how deep they drill into your head, and this is supposed to be comedy, and she's talking all funny, and she's like all, she's all damaged, and she sits there and she forgets what she's saying, and she talks sort of, like this and everything. And my father passed away from terminal brain cancer when I was 9 years old. And I still remember what he looked like. I still remember him wasting away in the hospital. I remember it got to the point where he didn't remember my name. I was his 9-year-old son. I went in to see him, and I saw the bandages on his head. And I saw the crayon, what I call them crayon marks, where they were going to cut into his head next to take out the tumor. And when I see something like this, to say that it offends me is not even touching how I feel about this. They make this, for all intents and purposes, in this video, in this episode, this person could have had the same operation my father had, and it makes it look like she's all damaged and she's all funny and talking funny, and she doesn't remember what she's saying. And I can't tell you how the feelings I got in my chest as I watched this episode. So I start thinking about, how this MAGA mindset, about how we become too prissy, too offended too easy. I don't look at it that way. I think we become more intelligent, and empathy is not a bad thing. I've always felt like I've had a lot of empathy, and for the longest time I was afraid to say it. I was afraid to use the word empathy because it sounded like sympathy, and sympathy always made me think of like prissy and feminine or something, and I never wanted to say that I had empathy, and I think we've just become more intelligent. It's not about being offended more easy. There's nothing funny. It's really not funny. Somebody that just had brain surgery, being portrayed in this light. What is funny about that? Is it just me because I went through my father having brain cancer, or do people actually think that this is humorous, that they're portrayed as like some kind of damaged goods, to be laughed at? I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that we're growing up, we're maturing, hopefully, as a country, as a society, and we don't look at things like this as comedic. Some things just aren't funny. Some things are serious and tragic, and there's just sometimes some things shouldn't be portrayed in a certain light. And you could do it. It's a free country. But that's where cancel culture comes in. You could say what you want. Nobody's going to stop you from saying it. But you might offend a lot of people, something like this. People like me. And when that happens, I don't want to see you no more. I'm not going to watch MORK and MINDY anymore. It's not funny to me anymore. I'm not canceling MORK and MINDY. I'm not going to go protest MORK and MINDY. But calling this cancel culture is a misnomer too, because it's just you're offending so many people. You're turning off people, and in response, they're turning off you. That's all it is. So the people that are actually crying about being canceled, maybe they're just making jokes about the wrong thing. Something I just wanted to say this morning. The link will be down below. I encourage you to watch this MORK and MINDY episode and tell me what you think. Especially if you had somebody in your family that actually had brain surgery. It's not very funny. All right, I'll be back later with another video. You guys have a good Sunday.